What's going on, brothers? Just let me tell you the name. Got a video for you. It's written title, Autopilot, Part 8. Here goes. So, I've said in my previous videos that one of the main reasons why this Mgtow philosophy is on autopilot is because this atmosphere, this environment that we're living in is misandric. It's radioactive. It's against men and boys. But it's a little more complicated than that. The reason why this Mgtow philosophy is on autopilot is because there are red pills that society is giving men and boys that are not coming from this sector, in this space, in this lifestyle. The red pills that are being given to these men and these boys are being given to them by reality itself. And this is in the form of childhood trauma, ritual child abuse from their mother, who raised them without a father. These red pills are coming from being sexually humiliated, emasculated, and laughed at, and told that they don't matter in the media 24/7, 7 days a week. So, naturally, they learn, adjust, and adapt, and they choose not to play the game. And I say more power to them. You know, in the book called The Age of the Bachelor by Harold P. Trudikoff, when there was a ton of bachelors in a civilization, it was usually because of economic uncertainty. If there were a bunch of young men and they knew that like their income was where it needed to be to support a family, then they would just stay single. So like if like the economic outlook was not bleak, if it was a-okay, if it was an up and up, then of course they'd be more inclined to marry. They'd be more compelled to marry. But if things were turbulent, if the economy was falling apart, they would save their resources and keep to themselves. And this is how they were able to survive. I mean, I know some people would say it sounds like they're living like stray cats, but this economic uncertainty and what's going on right now, it drove them to that. The economic uncertainty, the fact that this civilization we live in is anti-male and gynocentric, and plus it's anti-family. Those are the reasons why this Mgtow philosophy is on autopilot. Especially since we live in a civilization where these tribes and former spring chickens have normalized divorce parties. Yeah, so you divorce your husband and collect the loot. You get to run a victory lap and throw a party. And they got this from living vicariously through these former spring chickens and these ran-throughs who marry these celebrities and these professional athletes, divorce them, and then take their fortune. That's where they got it from. Young men saw this, boys saw this and said, that won't be me. So, here we are. This Mgtow philosophy is on autopilot. And it's going to stay that way. It's going to stay that way. And then you have another red pill. One that comes from the media itself. You brothers remember an old comedy flick back in the days, back in the 90s, starring Jack Nicholson, where a woman asked him, how do you write women so well in your books. He said, I think of a man, and I take away reason and accountability. That's one red pill. Another good one is, of course, Spaceballs. When Lord Helmet was playing with his figurines, and the woman, like he was like playing with his figurines, and he said, women have always loved men who have power. That's one red pill. And of course, they're the red pills that are in old R&B songs. There are red pills that are in gangster rap. Red pills that, of course, even our late brother Michael Jackson put out. One in particular was, if you can't feed your baby, don't have a baby. So, for the most part, a lot of these red pills that are being aimed at these men and boys are not really coming from this sector like that. It's coming from everywhere. It's coming from the media. It's coming from reality. It's coming from the broken households that these single mothers raised them in. I mean, it's so bad that there are even young men today calling themselves Sigmas. I'm like, what the hell? It's that bad. I gotta say it like this. This lifestyle, this philosophy is an autopilot because the environment that we live in is anti-male, scandal-centric, and we've been fighting against it. We've been resisting it. And so far, we're still fighting it. Those demented creatures in a high place may not like it, but that's what they drove us to. You see, I don't have a problem with marriage. Marriage is a beautiful thing, it's a splendid thing, but the problem with marriage today is that it does not benefit men. Men get no benefit out of marriage. The men today are not budging in these troughs today. They're frustrated, they're upset, but they create this environment. Hashtag Me Too, hashtag Kill All Men. And they also destroyed the nuclear family. Linda Gordon got her wish. And one last thing, brothers, before we conclude this video. You want to know where a sizable portion of the modern day red pills came from? You want to know where most of them came from over the past few years? They came from the humor section of YouTube. Those red pills came from, you guessed it, those gold digging prank videos. That's where it came from. I think if you go over there right now, there is a gold digging prank video that has over 40 million views. You think young men and boys aren't watching those videos? You really think that? They see this shit. And that's why I say this lifestyle, this philosophy is an autopilot. These young men know what's up. They know they're being used. They know these trollops want their resources, use them as pawns. They're to be used and thrown away. And they learned that from these feminists, these femcells. And guess what? These young men have learned just and adapted. They've said, hell no. Not on my watch. And more power to them. This may sound brutal, this may sound grim, but that's what happened. That's exactly what happened. And here we are. Autopilot. Take heed, brothers. Take heed. It's L.O.M. Mgtow. That's all I got for you. Like the bad shirt in the commentary for you to subscribe. If you didn't donate, this is my change, my tip jar on my channel. Alright, fam. Alright, brethren. You know the drill. You know the routine. Go on way, live your own way. SYSBM is for these hoochies, these former spring chickens, these desperate, broke single mothers who hate us for what we have. Give them nothing. This is Mgtow PSA. Welcome to State. See you soon.